Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. And today we're going to be tackling AI,
Oh, wow.
but from a totally unexpected angle,
Okay.
a children's book.
Interesting.
Yeah, so don't worry, this isn't just bedtime stories.
Right.
This is When Computers Become Human, a kid's guide to the future of artificial intelligence.
Okay.
Co-written by 11-year-old Kelly Lane and his dad, philosophy professor David Lane.
Wow.
And believe me, it packs a serious intellectual punch.
I bet.
So are you ready to have some assumptions challenged?
Absolutely. I think it's remarkable how a fresh perspective, especially one that's unburdened by all the years of technical jargon, can illuminate even the most complex topics.
That's right. And you, our listener, want that knowledge hit
Shit.
without all the fluff?
Of course.
So we are going straight for the good stuff.
Love it.
Like, can computers really become human?
Yeah.
What happens when tech outpaces our ability to even understand it?
Yeah.
Utopia or dystopia?
Yeah.
Big questions.
Huge.
And this book tackles them head on. Okay, so it starts with a real curveball.
Right.
The first digital computer, according to the Lanes, was human hands.
Human hands.
Yeah, it makes you rethink
Yeah.
what computing even means.
For sure.
Suddenly, those ancient tools, the abacus, the astrolabe,
Right.
they're all on the same spectrum as a smartphone.
Uh-huh.
It's all about processing information,
Okay.
whether it's stars or spreadsheets.
Gotcha.
And the book takes us on this whirlwind tour
Okay.
of computing milestones from Charles Babbage's mechanical computers to Ada Lovelace and her pioneering programming work.
Wow.
It even highlights Jorge Luis Borges,
Oh, wow.
the Argentinian writer whose 1941 short story basically predicted hypertext and the World Wide Web.
That's amazing.
It blows my mind every time.
Yeah.
It's like he peeked into the future of the internet.
Yeah.
But here's where the rubber meets the road.
Okay.
The law of accelerating returns.
Right.
The book uses this fantastic analogy. Imagine doubling M&Ms on each square of a game board.
Okay. I'm picturing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a vivid way to grasp exponential growth.
It really is.
It's not just progress.
Right.
It's progress on top of progress.
Yeah.
Compounding at this insane rate.
Uh-huh.
By the time you're a third of the way across that board, you would have more M&Ms than atoms in the observable universe.
That's incredible.
Well, crazy, right?
It's hard to even fathom.
And that's what's happening with AI.
Right.
So think about it.
Yeah.
Your phone has more computing power than all the computers used for the 1969 moon landing combined.
It's amazing.
So when people like Stephen Hawking
Oh, yeah.
express concern about superintelligence,
Right.
it's not just sci-fi scaremongering.
Yeah.
Hawking, among many others, worried about what happens when we create something smarter than ourselves.
Right.
Something with goals we might not even comprehend, let alone control.
It's a little scary.
And this fear has seeped into pop culture, too, from 2001. A Space Odyssey to books like Dan Brown's Origin.
Oh, for sure.
It's that classic what have we unleashed feeling,
Yeah.
right?
Totally.
And the book dives into these specific milestones that make that fear feel real.
Okay.
My grandpa used to swear a computer could never beat a chess grandmaster.
Really?
Yeah. And then 1997, Deep Blue defeated Garry Kasparov.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
It was more than just a win. Deep Blue made a move, a strategic sacrifice so bizarre no human grandmaster had ever considered it.
That's wild.
It was like a glimpse into an alien way of thinking,
Really?
strategically speaking,
Huh.
and that was just chess.
Right.
Then fast forward to 2016, and we have AlphaGo, created by Google's DeepMind, taking on Lee Sedol,
Okay.
the Go world champion.
Yeah.
And Go is exponentially more complex than chess.
Wow.
Experts thought we were decades away from a computer mastering it.
Oh, wow.
But AlphaGo didn't just win.
Okay.
Its gameplay was unconventional, full of moves that initially baffled even top Go players.
Really?
It was like watching a new school of thought emerge,
Yeah.
but in a game that's been played for millennia.
That's amazing.
And then get this, they created AlphaGo Zero, which learned to play Go entirely by playing against itself.
Wow.
And it beat the original AlphaGo 100 to 0.
No way.
Yeah, it's like AI evolving at warp speed,
Jeez.
leaving our human understanding in the dust.
So,
David Meyer,
Okay.
a writer for Fortune magazine, put it chillingly.
Cowboy.
AlphaGo Zero may represent as much of a breakthrough as its predecessor, since it could presage the development of algorithms with skills that humans do not have.
Wow.
Okay, hold on to your hats because this is where it gets really heavy.
Okay.
Philosopher Nick Bostrom has this line, far from being the smartest possible biological species, We're probably better thought of as the stupidest possible biological species capable of starting a technological civilization.
That's a lot to unpack.
I know, right?
Yeah,
It's provocative.
it is.
But it highlights a potential blind spot we humans might simply not be equipped to grasp the long-term ramifications of what we're creating.
It's true.
It's a little scary, right?
Yeah, it is a little scary.
It's like we're building this ladder into the unknown, but we have no idea what's waiting at the top.
Right.
And what's even crazier is we're already living with these early forms of AI. I mean, we talk to our phones, ask them questions, even give them names.
That's true. It's interesting how quickly and easily we anthropomorphize these systems.
Yeah.
We give them human-like names, have conversations with them.
Right?
Almost blurs the lines between human and machine.
It totally does. But what happens when those lines get really blurry?
Right.
When these programs become so sophisticated that they know us better than our closest friends?
Uh-huh.
Or when we literally can't tell the difference between a human and an AI?
Well, that brings us to the famous Turing test.
Okay.
Alan Turing, way back in 1950, proposed this thought experiment.
Okay.
If a machine can carry on a conversation that's indistinguishable from a human's,
Right.
can we say it's intelligent?
Okay, so let's play this out. Imagine you're texting back and forth with someone,
Okay.
and their responses are witty, insightful, maybe even a little sarcastic.
Mhm.
You'd have no reason to suspect it's not a person, right?
Right.
But what if it's a super advanced AI?
Exactly. And that's where things get really philosophical.
Okay.
The book grapples with this question of consciousness. Can a machine truly be conscious, or is it just simulating consciousness?
Right. How can we even know for sure?
Yeah.
I mean, we assume other people are conscious because they act like us, talk like us, but what if a machine can do that too?
The book dives into this concept of substrate independence.
Okay.
The idea that consciousness isn't necessarily tied to a specific physical material like the neurons in our brains.
Uh-huh.
It could potentially arise in any sufficiently complex system,
Okay.
whether it's made of biological matter or silicon chips.
So are you saying consciousness is like software that could be run on different hardware?
It's an interesting analogy.
Okay.
MIT physicist Max Tegmark put it this way.
Okay.
If consciousness is the way information feels when it's processed in certain ways,
Uh-huh.
then it must be substrate independent. It's only the structure of the information processing that matters, not the structure of the matter doing the information processing.
Okay, that's a lot to unpack.
Yeah,
So theoretically, we could create a conscious AI in a computer,
right.
even though it doesn't have a brain like ours.
It's a mind-boggling concept.
It really is.
We're a long way from understanding consciousness well enough to even think about creating it artificially.
Right.
But the very possibility raises profound questions about the nature of consciousness and what it means to be human.
And it takes us right back to that central question.
Yep.
Will AI lead to a utopian dream or a dystopian nightmare?
Right.
What does the book have to say about that?
Well, the book offers both optimistic and cautious viewpoints.
Okay.
Futurist and inventor Ray Kurzweil predicts that by 2045,
Okay.
artificial intelligence will have surpassed human intelligence by a billionfold.
A billionfold.
Yeah. And he believes this will lead to a technological singularity, a point where AI reshapes civilization as we know it.
A billionfold increase in intelligence that's almost impossible to grasp.
I know it's really hard to wrap your head around.
What would that even look like?
Well, Kurzweil envisions a future where AI solves humanity's biggest problems,
Okay.
from curing diseases to tackling climate change.
Oh.
He thinks AI will ultimately enhance our lives and expand our capabilities.
That sounds pretty utopian.
It does.
But not everyone is so optimistic, right?
Right. Another futurist, Gray Scott,
Okay.
is more cautious.
Okay.
He predicts AI will reach human-level intelligence by 2035,
Okay.
a much closer timeline.
Yeah.
But he thinks the transition will be more gradual and potentially more disruptive.
So we have Kurzweil's sudden transformative leap,
Right.
and Scott's more gradual but potentially bumpy ride.
Uh-huh.
The book doesn't shy away from the potential downsides of AI either, does it?
Not at all.
Okay.
It acknowledges the risks from job displacement to autonomous weapons systems.
Right.
It recognizes that the choices we make today about AI will have a huge impact on the future of humanity.
It's a lot to think about.
For sure.
But I love how this book, even though it's written for kids, manages to tackle these complex issues
Yeah.
in a way that's both accessible and thought-provoking.
Absolutely. And it reminds us that these aren't just issues for scientists and tech experts.
Yes.
They're questions we all need to be thinking about,
Yeah.
especially the younger generation.
Yeah.
They're inheriting this future.
The book comes full circle back to the image of human hands as the first computer.
Uh-huh.
It's like this reminder that technology is ultimately an extension of ourselves,
Right.
a tool we can use to build or destroy.
And that's the key, to use our creativity and intelligence to develop AI that benefits humanity while being mindful of the potential risks.
Welcome back to our deep dive into all things AI. I'm still processing all the mind-bending ideas we've uncovered so
It's
far.
been a journey, right?
It really is. And for those who want to keep exploring, the book has a fantastic for further reading section.
Oh, yeah.
Life 3.0, Turing's Cathedral, The Singularity is Near the Innovators.
All great books.
All these titles dive deeper into the ideas that we've touched on today.
Yeah, it's a great launching pad
Yeah,
for further exploration, a testament to how a simple book
right.
can really just spark this lifelong curiosity about a subject.
Yeah. And honestly, we've only just scratched the surface here.
Oh, yeah.
AI is such a vast and ever-changing field.
Right.
It's both exciting and a little daunting,
I think that's the right attitude,
right?
to have a sense of wonder, but also tempered with caution.
Uh-huh.
After all, we're talking about a technology with the potential to fundamentally change what it means to be human.
And speaking of which, I keep thinking about the book's young co-author, Kelly Lane.
Yeah.
He's growing up in a world where AI is becoming increasingly commonplace. It makes me wonder what his generation's take on all of this will be.
That's a fascinating question. Kelly and his peers are what we call digital natives.
Right.
They've never known a world without the internet,
Right.
without smartphones or AI assistants. So their understanding of technology, their comfort level with it is likely to be vastly different from previous generations.
It's almost like they'll have this intuitive grasp of these concepts that we're still wrestling with.
Yeah, it's possible.
Maybe they'll be the ones to kind of guide us through this new landscape
Right.
to help us navigate all these ethical and societal challenges that AI presents.
It's certainly possible they're growing up with AI as this constant companion, a tool to be used, explored, and maybe even challenged.
Yeah.
Their insights will be crucial as we shape the future of this technology.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one key takeaway you hope our listeners walking away with?
I think the most important message is that this isn't just a conversation for scientists and engineers.
Right.
We all have a stake in the development and the deployment of AI.
Uh-huh.
The choices that we make now will shape the future for generations to come.
So well said, and I have to say, I'm leaving this deep dive with a mix of awe, excitement, and a healthy dose of apprehension. It's clear we're on the brink of something truly transformative, and it's up to all of us to make sure this transformation benefits humanity as a whole.
Indeed. And perhaps a final thought to leave our listener with.
Okay.
If we can create AI that surpasses human intelligence,
Hmm.
what does that tell us about our own consciousness and our place in the universe?
Wow.
It's a question that goes beyond the scope of the book,
Right.
but one that's worth pondering.
That's a great point. It's a question that'll stick with me for a long time. And who knows, maybe Kelly Lane, the young co-author who kind of sparked this whole conversation,
Yeah,
will be the one to answer it someday.
maybe. After all, he represents the generation that will be most closely intertwined with this technology shaping its future and grappling with its implications in ways we can only imagine.
I think that's a perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of artificial intelligence. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep your minds open to the endless possibilities of the future.